my name is Troy Byer, and I am the Program Director for Specialized Student Services at Literacy First Charter School. I am also a school psychologist and board-certified behavior analyst. The reason for this video is to share with you some of the strategies that we use as a school to help students engage in learning, and also to kind of have the freedom to be kids and to do all the things that kids need to do. And so we wanted to share some of those strategies with you so that you were best equipped or knew kind of some of the strategies that are used at school to help your students engage in schoolwork and to kind of stay on task and all that kind of stuff. Before I get into any of that, I simply want to reach out and let you guys know that we at Literacy First are doing everything we can to continue coming alongside you and supporting you as the parents and guardians of the students that come to our school. This is a really tough time, and we understand. And if you have any questions, or you have any struggles, or you're looking for support, although we can't come into your home and we can't physically be there to help you teach your student, what we can do is meet with you over Zoom or phone calls or email or things like that to help you come up with strategies to best help support your kiddo. So we are here. If you need to reach out, please reach out to your teachers, class or your students' teachers, or to if you have an ed specialist or administrator at your school campus. We are still around, we are still accessible, and we're here to support you just like we always are. One thing that we are very big on at Literacy First is parent involvement, and you know that. And we want to make sure that we are continuing that theme and that we are supporting you as you guys are home with your kiddos. And so anyway, before I start, I just wanted to make sure you guys knew that we want to help, and we want to make this time as easy for you as possible, although we know and recognize that there are so many variables happening, so many variables that are outside of outside of education. There's real life, there's jobs, and so many things that are hard that are going on. We're doing everything we can to help, and if we can, or if you have a need, please reach out and let us know. So having said that, I'd like to get into a little bit of just a conversation of what it looks like, or what things we use to help students. I know there were some videos that went out from our administration that had some great tips. I mean, one of the tips was, have a space and have a structured space so that for the student that they feel like this is their education area or their school area, or have a container where they keep all their pens and pencils or the tools that they use to do school, and having a schedule. That's really, really big. In fact, one of the things that I wanted to elaborate on a little bit is having a schedule. Human beings, myself, I'm sure most of you, operate highly and much more efficiently and better when there's a schedule. When I was a kid, I struggled with ADHD a lot, and as much as I try to pretend that I just like to run by the seat of my pants and just not have any schedule or anything like that, the reality is, even I realized that I need a schedule. In fact, I needed a schedule more than maybe some others, because my brain likes to go so many different ways. And so because I'm, even as an adult, kind of so scattered, if you looked at my computer, you would see that I am very scheduled. My schedule has every single thing that I have to do on the day. I have to-do lists and all that kind of stuff. And so as adults, I think we all, or many of us, have to rely heavily on those things, and that's very similar for students, and we do that on a daily basis with the kids in our classes. And so every single one of the classrooms, if you've noticed when you walk in, there's a schedule on the board, and kids can see it, and that really helps alleviate some of the stresses and kind of fears of the students, or kind of their ability to know what's coming. If I as an adult didn't know what was next for my entire day every day, I would be a little bit frustrated and anxious. That's the same for kiddos. If they know what's coming, if they know what's next, that kind of alleviates some of the stress and allows them to better engage in what they're doing right now. Okay, I'm going to do this thing, this math or this reading or this for 15 minutes, because I know when I'm done with this, then I get a 10-minute break or whatever. And so it's really important that that students have a regular routine and a regular schedule. And a lot of times, many students function much even better when they can see it and they have it in front of them, and there's even a checklist. And so I made a little bit of an example. The reason why it looks so bad is not only because my handwriting is terrible, which it is, but also because it doesn't have to be really, really well laid out. I wanted you guys to see that just a simple Sharpie and a piece of paper, or a pencil and a piece of paper, can help. And so what I've done here is, you got your schedule. You got to get out of bed, eat breakfast, get some clothes for the day on, and play outside for 10 minutes. Then you go to school. That's kind of the schedule that I wrote out here. That's a good example. You don't have to have the same exact routine, but having something similar could help. So get out of bed. I checked off some of them. And so what that does is it allows the student to kind of feel like, okay, I've accomplished something today. And I know when I accomplish this thing, then the next thing comes. And so having a schedule with a checklist can be very valuable. So one thing that I would definitely implore you or suggest that you guys have for your students is that to-do list, is a schedule where they know what's coming next, and they know how to get from A to B, and then they know how to get from B to C, and to have a checklist where they can check off, okay, I did A, then I get B. Another thing that within that schedule that I recommend heavily is having breaks, frequent breaks, because depending on your student's age, I mean, we have a school with kindergarten through 12th grade, so we're dealing with 5-year-olds all the way up to 18-year-olds, and so the need for a break is different depending on age and different depending on student. I mean, if I'm very honest, I'm an adult and I have an adult job, but I need breaks. I need breaks more than many other people. I need more breaks than my wife because my brain needs to kind of to step away and then come back. I engage better, and when I do engage after a break, I'm more focused and I can get more done. Students are very, very similar, and we've seen that with so many of the students that we work with. That you just you need to kind of figure out what that time period is. How long can they maintain focus before it becomes a point of diminishing returns, which is a phrase that I use a lot with students, is, you get to a point where you can do 15 minutes of hard good work, and then the next hour is just a battle. And for the next hour, you get less done than you did in that 15 minutes because they've hit diminishing returns. It's, the return on investment is not high. So, but if you give a little 5-10 minute break, okay, if you do 15 minutes, you get a 10-minute break, and you can, play a video game. We don't love video games all the time, but sometimes that's the good thing to do. If you have the ability to go outside, that's always the best. Outside, run around, get some energy out. Getting that energy out is a huge, huge valuable tool for you to allow a student to engage. Little kiddos, they need to move, they need to play, and so. Inside, if you can work on a little workout routine, or watch some of the teacher videos. They do these brain breaks. Look up brain breaks on YouTube and have your kids do brain breaks in your house, or if they can go outside and run around the block or around the park, or whatever they can do that's safe and within the guidelines that we're given as a county, then that would be great. So anyway, breaks are really important. Understanding how much time your student needs or can handle focusing at one time will help you understand when that break comes. And give a 5-10 minute, 15-minute break. At school, know that we do breaks often, even though they have there's typically a morning recess and then a lunch and then a lunch recess. Those aren't the only breaks they get. Students get frequent breaks in the classroom. Most teachers call them brain breaks, and they show videos. And I know that many of you have been in the classroom and you've seen these things. Feel free to use those. Get a hold of your teacher. Find out what those brain break videos are. Use them with your kids. Let them watch them on YouTube or on your phone or whatever. Kind of gets them up, standing, jumping around, stuff like that. They love it, and it really helps them kind of detach, get a little movement break, and re-engage. The other thing that you can do with a checklist like this, you can use these checks as points. And so another thing that we use at Literacy First in almost all the classrooms, and then varying depending on student need, is what's called a token economy. So you may have heard of Classroom Dojo, or debits and credits, or GER coupons or GER tickets for the upper grades. And so these are all things where we allow students to earn points or earn the GER tokens, or they earn debits, a debit or a credit. A credit is effectively kind of think banking, right? You work hard, you earn a paycheck. If they do not meet the criterion, or the students aren't quiet for the amount of time they're supposed to be quiet, they might get a debit. That's, you get your money taken away. And so effectively, using the task list or using their to-do list as a way for them to earn points that then accumulate together to allow them to get something that they want is a huge motivator for kids. Research and science and all kinds of things have proven that it is much more effective to reinforce or to give someone something to do to earn something they want. It's more effective to reinforce good behavior than it is to, quote, punish bad behavior. Punish kind of sounds like a severe word, but punishing can be, taking away your favorite game or taking something away. And I know as a parent, myself included, that it's really easy and really hard to not fall into, or it's easy to fall into and hard not to fall into the thing where you say, if you don't do X, Y, and Z, then then you're losing this. Or if you don't do this, or if you don't stop doing that, then I'm removing this, or I'm taking this away. And it's really hard not to fall into it, and I find myself doing it often, but then we have to turn it around, and in the classroom, what we've realized and what research has shown, what I've seen with personal experience as a father, and then also as a psychologist and behavior specialist working with students, that students will respond way better if they say, instead of saying, if you don't do X, I'm going to take this away, say, if you do this, then I will give you this. And a lot of times, what they earn doesn't have to be a tangible thing. It doesn't have to be food or a game or something like that. It can be free time. You can have free time to go, to play outside. You can have 5 more minutes of break time. You can have, you can have one of the big things that I've seen work very successfully with students is just free time with their parents, with mom or dad or grandma, grandpa, or whoever, guardian, whoever that is. Like, they love to have, that independent one-on-one time with the person that is close to them, and a lot of times that can be something you can give. I mean, typically a lot of us are stuck at home, and so giving them, you get to choose the movie tonight, you get to choose the board game we play. Things like that can be huge motivators for students. Okay, if you are on task for a solid 20 minutes today, then you get to choose, what would you eat for dinner? You get to help mom or dad cook dinner. You get to, give them kind of freedom to choose what their life looks like for successfully doing what you need them to do. And this can work for more than just school. I mean, this can be the chores, this can be all kinds of stuff. So building in some kind of token economy, and the reason it's called economy is because you give points or you give tokens, and when those tokens are turned in, they can purchase things. So one thing that you can do is, say on the fridge or somewhere, write down a list of the things that they can earn. So this is the back of my piece of paper. You can earn, for 5 points, let's say each check is a point. And for 5 points, you can turn that in. Maybe that's, if there's 10 points in a day. So if you earn 5 points, then you can buy 5 minutes of extra recess time. If you earn 10 points, then you can choose out of the 5 options for what we eat for dinner. If you earn 20 points, then you get to choose what we watch on Netflix or on Disney Plus or whatever. You get to choose that. If you earn 50 points, then you get to choose. That's a big one. I mean, you can come up with something big that they really want. And maybe if you want to, if there's a toy that they like that you have, and you want to kind of hold that toy and say, look, this toy is going to be right here, and you get to earn this toy if you earn 50 points. I mean, that's up to you. You can kind of think about that. So I think you kind of get the idea in that building in some kind of economy where they are earning points, just like you and I, earn a paycheck when we go to work to purchase the things that they want. So anyway, this is a good part 1. I think I will continue making some videos with additional ideas and suggestions. So maybe I can add some different kind of things to put under your token economy. But really, just the foundation is this: it's more effective to start with reinforcement, which means reinforcing good behavior, than it is to start with punishment, which is taking something away that they like. So if you start with a program of, if you do X, Y, and Z, then you can earn these things that you want, you're going to have more success than if you start with punishment. Now, that's not to say that, if you give these things for them to do, you have to do this and this and this and this, whether it's the chores or getting ready in the morning or, schoolwork. If they don't engage in those things and they have not earned their rewards and they're not getting there, that's not to say you can't use taking stuff away too. You can, but research is showing that it's always more valuable to start with adding in reinforcement for doing good behavior. So make sure that that your kiddos know what they're supposed to do. It's better to give active instructions. So Instead of saying, don't do this, that's not telling them what to do. Say, do this. I want you to do 5 minutes of math. I want you to take out the trash. I want you to this. If you have siblings at home and it's a situation where you got a couple of kids, like, don't touch your sister, don't pick, don't yell. Instead of saying, don't statements, use do statements. And so keep your hands to yourself. That's an instruction. That's something I can do. Okay, my hands are myself. Automatically, by keeping my hands to myself, I'm not poking my sister or my brother or bothering. You keep your mouth shut. Be quiet. Those are proactive statements as opposed to don't yell, don't be loud. So try as much as you can to give proactive do statements, because that gives them a specific instruction as to what they're supposed to be doing. And I know that I work better that way too. If someone tells me, don't walk over there, well, that gives me infinite other places of where to walk. Maybe that person that told me not to walk over there really wanted me to walk specifically over to the kitchen. Well, I didn't know they wanted me to walk over to the kitchen. All I said is they just didn't want me over there. Okay, well, I can go do all these other things. And so a lot of times our don't do instructions actually turn into other behavior problems that we didn't see coming because we did not specifically instruct our kiddos what they were supposed to do. So as much as possible, give them those do instructions. I want you to sit in a spot and do these things for 5 minutes, and then you can have 5 minutes of break. And make sure that you are rewarding or giving points to students as they are doing what you want them to do. And then as they're earning those points, make sure those points mean something. They have to have some kind of value. They have to be turn-inable for something that they want. So anyway, that's a kind of an intro, and this has been a bit of a longer video than I wanted it to be, but I hope this helps. And again, we are trying to be here. We're doing everything we can to support you guys. If you have any questions at all, reach out to your administrators, reach out to the ed specialist that you work with, reach out to your classroom teacher, reach out to me, and we will do everything we can to support you at home. We are so impressed by what you guys have been doing. No one asked for this. This is coming out of left field, and it happens so fast. And so just like I am proud of and honored to work with the teachers and administrators and people that I work with, I am proud and honored to work with the students of parents like you and guardians like you. You guys are amazing. So have a great day. I hope this helps a little bit. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you very much.